everyone's favorite new podcast plus YouTube thing. We call it uh
Start your engines, right?
Scorpions and Thank you, sir.
Yep.
So so let's dive into Scorpions and let's get one thing clear. Um the I know what we said. If some of you have seen the posting for Scott Johansson's, I do apologize. We realized people like to watch other sports and don't want to sit there and listen to us talk when there's other sports um coming on at certain times weekly. So we do apologize, but I think I could say this. Something I realized today after putting out we were going to Scotland at 7 weekly. It's actually going to be at 6:30 because of football.
Yeah, we don't want to mess up Thursday night football. I can't believe we're already into the kickoff of the season. I'm really excited for NFL season. I hope the two teams, the Cowboys and the Eagles, play safe tonight, play hard tonight, and the best team wins. But it's gonna be a good season, and we don't want to interfere with the excitement of that when we got our own excitement over here that we can focus on.
Yeah. So bear with us as we make our claims. It's the time difference. Not too much of a change, but you know.
Yeah, we
But
just think it's good for everybody and good for us, so that we could see it as well, and there's no interference. But I think we want to move on with the show, right, Justin?
right.
I think what we could start out with is St. Louis, right? We're walking into St. Louis after the amazing finish in Darlington. Congratulations to Chase Briscoe. Holy macaroni, he held off Tyler Reddick. I could not believe that happened, especially since Tyler Reddick got involved in a lap one crash. He bared down and
Ye-
buckled down and finished second. But Chase Briscoe moving on to the next round. And now we're talking about worldwide in St. Louis, and I think that it's going to be a great race. And I would love Justin's opinion on kind of what he thinks and who he thinks is going to do well this weekend. I got some drivers in my mind for anyone that loves fantasy. I'd love for Justin to give his input.
So I I think uh I think like 45 of Tyler Reddick will do good. And you know and it's kind of hit or miss on what's going to happen. Given it is the second race of the round,
Hmm.
next week we'll dive into the first round eliminations. Can't believe it. When football's starting, NASCAR is just about over.
It is the best season for sports right here, right? You got college
Yeah.
football coming in, you got NFL coming in, baseball is getting ready for the end of their season, and NASCAR is coming to an end. Best time of the year. So I think when we're talking about St. Louis, right? I think what happened in Darlington for all those Hendrick guys. Oh my goodness, that scares me. Hendrick is in trouble. Their best finish was 17th, and I think that was Larson. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was Larson. Bowman finishing 31st. I mean, holy macaroni. And then we're going into worldwide. They're not very good there, not statistically good there. So I think that Hendrick really needs to kind of step it up so they're not relying on themselves at Bristol. but I think that any Penske guy is going to be good this weekend. I think because Cindric won last year because of Ryan Blaney running out of gas, they were both running in the top two, right? So, and then Logano, he's always just kind of a floater. He's kind of in there into the mix. He knows how to get to the end of these things. So does Tyler Reddick. So I think with the difference in the track layout, I mean, Worldwide is so unique. It's so low center speed in the turns as well as going down the straightaways. It's just a unique facility. So I think that any driver that's new in the sport is definitely going to struggle. So like SVG, he may struggle because this track is a lot different. And I know he says the short tracks are his specialty, right? He thinks other than road courses, that is his specialty. But I honestly don't know at this point if he's going to survive. He's +3, and Bristol's a demon in itself, right? And it's an insanely hard track for any newcomer. So this weekend's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. And I I think we should give some love to uh the 19 of Bristol. Boy, he was fast this weekend.
He,
Impressive.
I mean, any driver. It seems like when they have the number 19, they just dominate. Like there's no win by an inch. It's a win by a mile. And I'm not saying like the finish was definitely not by a mile, but Briscoe led 309 laps out of 367. That is domination. And in Darlington, that's even more impressive. You just don't know with these cars, with these drivers. Everyone's so close in speed that it's just anything can happen. And I'm looking at the comments. I appreciate the likes, guys. I know Justin does too.
Yeah,
Hello to the people in the chat. I give you
yeah,
a virtual high five. But yeah, I think that we have a lot of things to talk about when it comes to Worldwide. I think what's awesome too, and I heard this today, it's the first time in like 2 decades since Xfinity has been at St. Louis. So
yeah,
they've never really run there. So that's gonna be really cool too. You got Xfinity and you got Cup. I think trucks are off this weekend. They're back at Bristol, but yeah, I think it's got a good program and a good schedule for everyone that goes down to St. Louis in the Midwest, and I think it should be a good showing.
yes. I I tend to agree. So I want to dive into something very special. Seth doesn't know I'm doing this.
All right, he's getting me a little excited.
Um, so guys, um, thank you, Seth. And I know that you're a big racing fan, and guys, this means a lot that Seth takes time out of his week. And I know you guys appreciate the content we're putting out together every week. So thank you guys, the fans of this new program. Like I said, we'll work out good teams. But I just want to publicly share my gratitude with Seth.
I appreciate it. I do it for nothing. To be honest with you, I just do it just to be with a good friend, and it just means the world to me to be able to help you out.
So let's get back to what we're here to do, and that is talk racing. Um, I I want to talk about Ryan Blaney. Do you think he's going to make the next round?
Without a doubt. Ryan Blaney is gonna be strong this weekend. I don't doubt that one bit. I think they're gonna show up. I don't know if it's gonna be a guaranteed victory, but I think that he's gonna really show up. He's gonna shine, and with stage races and with other drivers having problems, I would be really shocked if he doesn't move on to the next round. And then you got Bristol. He's all right there. I don't think he's the best, but he can definitely move around and find the best line when it comes to that track. So I think Ryan Blaney's safe.
Yeah, I I I tend to agree.
On the other
Um,
hand, I am really concerned for Bowman. I'm really concerned that he won't make the end of the round. I think that if you look at drivers that are struggling that might have some issues, Bowman and Dylan are they're pretty low on the list right now because they're kind of struggling. I think SVG is not going to make an end. For anyone that really pushes for him, it's not me not being against him. It's just I'm thinking realistically here because of the tracks that he has. But boy, if he can make it to the round of 12, they got the Roval in the round of 12. So if he wins that, that'd be the round of 8 for him. So I think that it's just all about circumstance, right? So if you can stay out of trouble and have speed, I don't think that they should have any problem.
yeah. Um, I'd say I'm glad you bring up speakers because, quite honestly, I want to take the next couple minutes and find out how far you guys think SPD will go in the cat. Who who makes your final four from what you saw in race one of the playoff? Put that in the cat, and we will move on to a different topic where you guys contemplate that. I I think we should talk about the Xfinity race from this week. Boy, was that racing intense.
Oh man, it definitely was. It was very fun to watch all the way through and through. Those guys just know how to get it done.
Yeah, pretty clean racing in that series.
And that's
Um,
unique. And that's unique for the Xfinity series. There tends to be a little bit more contact, a little bit less racing clean because they're just trying to get there to the end, but it was relatively clean and I'm really impressed with the hard amount of driving that they're doing and not causing a wreck or getting themselves in bad positions.
yeah. Um, and you know, and looking at the Xfinity series, after this weekend, all three national series are in the playoffs. That just shows you we're we're nearing the end of racing season.
I think when you look at the end of the racing season, it's definitely sad that we're getting close to the end, right? But this is when the excitement really takes over, and you get to really see where the drivers shine and where the good ones rise to the top, and the ones that are struggling a little bit kind of filter down to the bottom. So it's gonna be really interesting how who kind of breaks through, right, and really makes a difference in their season. Like if you were to look at Larson, I think if you look at Kyle Larson, what he's been able to do, you know, I'm not nervous about him because I know he's going to get there, but he hasn't finished in the top 10 since Daytona, which was last week. But before Daytona, he had a really, really long drought, not really consistent finishes. So it's going to be really interesting to see who really pulls through. And I think the JGR guys, they got things rolling right now. I think Hamlin's going to do well. Um, and I think Christopher Bell because he knows how to win races in a string of races. So Christopher Bell earlier this year, he won 3 races in a row and really locked himself in. So it really is just kind of who pulls through and who really shines within the playoffs.
Yeah. So who who would you pick right now, subsequent put you on the spot for all three? National Series.
Yep.
Who is your champion?
Who is my
But
champion? Wow. Um, I think if you're gonna look at Cup, I want to say Christopher Bell, and I think that's because he's been really close. He's been super close, and I think that this is the year that he can finally pull through. Now, I'm a big Hendrick fan. I hope that they get there. I do, but I think Christopher Bell really knows how to shine. If you're looking at Xfinity, how can I not say Connor Zilic? How can I? How can I not? But if it isn't Connor Zilic, it's going to be a veteran, and I think that if it's the veteran, what else is saying back-to-back championships for Justin Allgaier, right? And he knows how to get around there. I think he deserves to be more than a one-time champion. So I think that's going to be my pick. I think Justin Allgaier, if Connor Zilic has a bad day when it comes down to the end of the playoffs, it's going to be Justin Allgaier. And if you look at the cups, not the cup, but the truck series, Corey Heim obviously is dominating the series, right? And
mm-hmm.
what's one truck driver that is so consistent? He doesn't win, but he's very consistent.
Yeah.
Grant and Finger. He knows how to be at the end of these things. He sure does. If he survives, and Corey Heim also has problems, I wouldn't be shocked to see Grant and Finger win it. But now, like as you're kind of talking about the truck series, right? We need to have a separate segment on what happened to Ben Rhodes. Like I don't know what I'm a huge fan of Ben Rhodes, huge fan of his. He's hilarious. If you haven't seen any of his content, I definitely go check it out. But Ben Rhodes, I mean, he was so dominant in like 4 straight years, and then all of a sudden, and he's in like Thor Sport equipment.
Yeah.
It's really unique how he's struggling to even make the playoffs. I think he missed it the last two seasons. But if you're looking at two really great drivers that are really talented, Connor Zilic and Corey Heim. They're next to be in the Cup Series by a long shot, right? I
Yeah.
don't. I if they don't have a good day, the people that are consistent are going to show up.
Yeah. And and it's kind of one of those things. Uh, you know, who's not going to throw in the old towel? Who's
Right.
not going to get frustrated?
Yeah. And NASCAR is so much different than other sports, right? NASCAR's playoff system is so unique, and it's for excitement for the fans, right? Obviously, it's for excitement for everybody. It's excitement for you and I. To our fans, the people who enjoy Justin's channel. I mean, how can you not enjoy a channel called Full Throttle? I mean, that's cool in itself. But um, my channel is just my name, so um, I think with it being so unique, you know, anyone can lose this. Anyone can win this. It's like it's a one race kind of ordeal. So if you're in the championship race and you blow an engine, there it is, gone. So yeah, it's really complicated on that, and I think NASCAR has a great idea of how they engage younger audiences, like people that really haven't seen the good of NASCAR, like Justin and I have. And he was even better when I wasn't here. So I think that if you were to look at, it's kind of confusing. And if you're a NASCAR fan with the different rounds and you're not that into it, it's really hard to follow. So I wish that they would do something to make it easier for the fans to understand the playoff grid, because we're going into where one race is all. And you would say, and any logical fan, right, would say Connor Zilic should be the champion, right? The Xfinity Series. He's won 8 times. He's clearly the champion. No, not necessarily, because a driver that won once and he wins the championship race, that's it. So I'm not knocking anyone from NASCAR. It's just kind of my concern. I don't know if Justin has the same concern as me. Believe me, I think it's exciting. It's very exciting. It's really, really, really fun to watch. But it can be harder to follow for people that are not big into it, and I think it's a way where the best driver may not always win.
Yeah. Um. So on that note, um, let's talk about who. Let's create a new segment and do this every week. And the segment's going to be called "Who Impressed Us This Weekend," and let's give them some love every week.
Yeah. So if I was to give love to anybody uh, in in this week, right, this past week, I think you want to look at Chase Briscoe for the Cup Series. You want to look at Connor Zilic in the Xfinity Series, and you want to look at Corey Heim in the Truck Series. They just know how to win. They know how to get up front. I know it's obvious because I'm counting out the three winners, but it doesn't reflect how good they really are. Like they're in vulnerable situations each week where they're not just. Besides Chase Briscoe dominating this weekend, you know, Connor Zilic and Corey Heim were like they didn't have the winning car at moments of the race. They had to adjust it, get there, and get up front. So if you were to look at that, I think that they definitely deserve some love for this.
Yeah. And so, anyway, I I'm gonna do something a little bit unusual. We'll see how this goes. But who who needs, in your opinion, the rest of the year? Who needs a good run this weekend? I mean, like who who kind of was like, oh man, they should have ran good this week.
Yep, and they need to run well, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Um, I think when you look at the Cup Series and what they're doing over there, I think Alex Bowman. I'm sorry, it's gonna be Alex Bowman for me. Um, he needs to really step up. I think he might have a good weekend if Hendrick shows up. Uh, every one of them will, because their equipment is just phenomenal, right? So I think that if Hendrick shows up, I want Alex Bowman to really step up, and that's so easier said than done, right? That's just me in front of a mic. I don't know what the experience is for them and what they need to be able to run well, but I think Alex Bowman definitely needs to get a win. I think Ryan Blaney, he's running well. I would always like to see him run well at one of his best tracks. I think he needs to do well. If you look at the Xfinity Series, I'm also a really big fan of Jesse Love, and he was doing very well for a while, but now he's really starting to get that kind of that slump in there in the season, right, where he's not running near as well, right? And if you're going to look at the Truck Series, I really like Jake Garcia. It's his very first. It's very, it's his new equipment, and it's just I think that he, because it's his first season in the playoff format, I think this gives him a good chance. And my buddy Blake commented SVG needs to do good in the yes, he does. We talked about that earlier. We talked about SVG earlier on in the show, and he needs to do very well this weekend. I think that this is his weekend to possibly move on, because I think Bristol is going to be tough for him. I know he says that short tracks are his specialties, and he's getting better for him.
yeah.
But Bristol's different.
Bristol is way different. And let's see. What do you guys want to talk about to wrap up the show?
Blake commented again. I think he can make it in if he just has a good 2 weeks at Gateway and Bristol. Hopefully, other people have. Yes, Blake. I think that other people should have issues. You never know. If I want anyone that have issues, it's Denny Hamlin. That's just my heart. I'm sorry, but yeah, I think that if he could survive, like I said, the next round is the Roval's in there. So if he wins, if he gets through there, he can be looking at the round of 8
Yeah.
realistically.
Uh, I want to do something about the show, and this is what I want to do. Uh, so out of all the teams in the Cup Series, let's see how everyone reacts to this. Who is your final four, please, right now in all three series? You heard what we said. I want to hear what you guys say. Do you agree with us? Leave leave your comment in the comments, and we'll get something up so you guys can interact after the show. But let's see. Anything else we need to hit on?
I'm just excited for this weekend. I think that it could be a very big wild card weekend. Bristol's not much of a wild card, so I think it would be pretty cool of a race. And I think that if there's passing, it's gonna be good. The tough part about Gateway is it's just so wide that inside line is really hard to pass.
Yeah,
So I'd be really impressed if they can get the tire just right to where it doesn't just shred the the tires as people are trying to make passes on the inside line.
yeah. And the last last topic I want to hit on real quick is, you know, um, if you guys want us to hit on certain topics to catch up, let us know mm, throughout the week on the Full Throttle Facebook page. Go like the Full Throttle Facebook page. Leave your comments there of what you want to see in this program. Seth and I are doing the very best we can to come up with ideas, but we st- I started this program with Seth to talk about any type of motorsports, because I know Seth likes any type of motorsports, not just NASCAR.
hmm Looking at the chat real quick, Justin, Blake's putting in his opinions of what he expects, and I think your list is spot on for the trucks. I think Lane Riggs, Corey Heim, Grant Finger, and Ty Majeski are all going to be in the championship for the. I think he got that right. If you're looking at Xfinity, putting Austin Hill up there, I like that. Um, I'm not opposed to the driver, but I think that he has a shot for sure. Everyone else looks pretty good. Now the Cup: Denny, Briscoe, Byron, Blaney.
Ooh,
Briscoe.
Whistler.
Briscoe. I like that. I like that, Justin, for Blake for sure. I think that a driver that could make a difference in that, and I talked earlier in the show, I'm really pulling for Christopher Bell. I think that it's his time to shine when it comes to the playoffs. So I really hope that he gives it a run for the money and possibly takes out, I hope, Denny. But everyone else there is definitely good. I think all of them are solid answers. I think Blake is on to something over there. And I really like your input, but I think Christopher Bell has a great shot at messing up your grid for the. I'm really putting money on him.
Yeah. So let's see. Is there any interesting more comments before we hang up for the night?
No,
Colin,
it's just Blake. Blake is another buddy of Justin and I. Thanks, man, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm sure Justin does too. I like Blake's huge in NASCAR too. He's always been really supportive in both of us, and he's really huge in the sport. He loves it. So I definitely agree that something's gonna shake it up, and make it really interesting. We'll just have to see how it plays out.
yep. But we will see you guys next week at 6 o'clock. Yeah, that's right. I said 6 o'clock. We do apologize. We're working out the kinks and do apologize, but we are going with 6 p.m. No
Every
later than
Thursday.
yep.
6 p.m.
eh,
every Thursday, guys. We're gonna be live, and we just don't want to interfere with Thursday night football and any football fans in the chat.
yep. So we will see you next week.
Sounds good. You guys all have a good week now.